All right, we have hit 8 p.m. I am so excited to welcome you all tonight. We're live on Facebook in our Raise Up Beauty group. We've got Kai back with us, Modern Green Goddess, and tonight is going to be all about the eyes. This was far and away, we did a poll after her last class, which, I mean, my God, the feedback has been phenomenal. I actually had one of my friends be like, I've never learned more from any single human being than I've learned from her in the last class. So we're so excited to have her back. All About Eyes was far and away the most requested class. We have a few topics that she offers. So we're really excited to get into it tonight. I brought my little bag of cream shadows to play along with. And as luck would have it, somehow, some way, we landed on the first night of our friends and family sale. So everything Kai will be showing us that's beauty counter tonight is 15% off, up to 25% if you're a member and you spend $250. Of course, we're all members on here because we know how amazing that is. And if you're not a member, you can still get 20% off for $250, but it's time to upgrade. If you're shopping beauty counter, you've got to get those rewards. Anyway, enough from me. Let's turn it over to Kai. Kai is going to introduce herself a little bit. She's a celebrity makeup artist in Washington, D.C. She's a wealth of knowledge and information on clean, green, healthy, clean beauty. And is a makeup artist to many TV shows and personalities, and she can tell you a lot more than I. But Kai, take it away. We're so excited to have you. I'm going to go ahead and mute all the participants except for you so that we just can make sure there's no background noise. Oh, I think we already are. Good. All right. Take it away, friend.
Thank you so much. So first, I just want to say thanks to Lauren and to everyone who invited me back. Thank you guys so much. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is one of my favorite classes to teach because I think it's like something you can always take with you. So I'm really excited that you guys chose to do this class with me tonight. So what we're going to do first is just kind of go over some like housekeeping things so that everything goes smoothly. If you have a question, drop it in the chat. And if you're on Facebook, hi, drop your questions in the comments. And I would just ask that those that are leaders on here would help me kind of filter the questions, because I want to make sure we get questions answered here and on Facebook. So that's number one. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Also, please drop in the chat in the comments right now where you're coming from. I'd love to see where you guys are tuning in from. And thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be doing All About Eyes class, the cream edition. So we're going to be showing you how to work with creams. You're going to learn a lot today. So I would highly suggest a notebook, because you're going to learn not just how to work with creams, but what colors work best for you, what your eye shape is, how to do makeup best for your eye shape. And I'm going to talk you through a on-trend look, but then you're going to pick how to do it for your own eye. So going forward, when you see trends, you'll be like, oh, I like that, I want to try it. This is what works for my eye shape, and then work it around that. If you do that, you'll never really struggle with eye makeup. And because tonight you'll learn what colors work best for your eyes, you'll learn the shape, the techniques that work best for you, and also how to use cream eyeshadows, which is a question that I get a lot. So that's what we're going to be working on. We're going to be doing an on-trend eye today. You can use variants of these, but today we're going to be focusing on some sort of light colored cream shadow. I'm going to be using Gleam, but you can use Aura. You can use any of the lighter, more champagne-y, goldy light or light pink shades. And then we're going to be using the color Twinkle to create the look. Also, if you have an eyeliner, just like a black eyeliner or even a black shadow and a brush, you can have that if you want to add depth to the look, but it's not 100% required. I'm also going to be dabbling with a little bit of taking some creams to the eyes. So I'm going to be using tonight the color Truffle, but you can use any color that works for you. So something kind of more on the neutral side. So remember, when we took our class before, we talked about the things that were more neutral, the things that were more golden, and the things that were more warm. So this is more in the neutral area, truffle. So something like a truffle, something like a chai, etc. you could use. And those are going to be the main things. And of course, we're going to be using, I might use a couple of makeup brushes, also my fingers. We always finish off with mascara and Q&A, so make sure you have your mascara nearby. And we're definitely going to be using the Glow First priming serum. So if you have those items, grab them. If you want to follow along, obviously you might need a mirror or something too. If you're just watching and taking notes, that's fine too. And you can just do this later at a later time. And if you have any questions about any of the products, I will be here at the end to answer, but also know that you can get with the person who invited you to find out more about how to get the look and how to get the look with the deal, because there's lots of deals going on right now with friends and family starting. So I just wanted to go through those things. The last thing that is that if you are on an iPad and you're here on Zoom, please, if you have like the little Apple Pencil, if you could disable the pencil or disable the write function, the write to the thing that lets you write on the screen, because it actually shows up for Zooms on the big screen for some reason. So just wanted to do that too, so we can have a nice clean recording. Okay, so that's it for the housekeeping stuff. Let's start getting into some things. I see some people joining from Kentucky, Michigan, Connecticut, Houston. I love that. Let's get into like why we're here. Why are we teaching this class? So as Lauren was telling you guys, I am a pro makeup artist. I mainly work in TV, film, and red carpet. And I do some special event work and as well. I also have Modern Green Goddess, which is my company where I hold private and group classes teaching people the benefits of clean beauty. And I've been a makeup artist for many years, but my clean beauty story is that after having some medical issues, I met with some different doctors and things like that, and they told me that I needed to switch my skincare, makeup, body care, and clean home products. So that was a journey that I started on for my own health. And I did not only feel better, but the side effect was that my skin became kind of phenomenal. And my clients started asking, what was I doing and things like that. And I was, using these products. I had discovered beautiful lines like Beauty Counter and things like that, but I was not using it on my clients. And once people started to notice my skin, once I started working with people who had fertility issues and things similar to me, I had a few clients that were pregnant at the time. I just made the decision that I wanted to use a clean, safe, healthy kit for everyone. And so I became a clean makeup artist. And in that journey, I had started playing around with different items. I had found like maybe like one or two items that I'd liked from Beauty Counter, but I didn't make the connection that it could go in my pro kit until I started doing research, like to completely turn my kit over and realize that one of the creative directors at Beauty Counter was a pro makeup artist at the time, and that all of the products were made with integrity for what I do for like TV, film, and everything. They were things that performed really, really well, but were also safe and healthy for the skin. And so I tried the makeup. I had already started trying a little skincare, and I was blown away by both. And I realized that this was an area where this was a company that I could align with, because they had products that were high performing, which I need for my job. I want to keep my career going, but also have the safety standards that I personally wanted to uphold. And that's kind of how I came to Beauty Counter as an advocate. And then I started, people started to ask me questions a lot about makeup and skincare and things like that. And that's how I added these services to Modern Green Goddess. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I'm really glad to be here and talk to you guys about eye makeup. So eyes are something that I feel like I get a lot of questions about on a regular basis. And based on the questions I've been asked over the years, and even when I was a trainer, I used to be a makeup trainer for Sephora and a few other large companies as well. These were some of the questions that that if I answered them really set the light bulb off. So I'm going to talk to you guys about those things, and that is eye shape, eye color, what products to use, etc. So we're going to start with color. So here we are. Can everybody see the color wheel here? Okay, so here we are doing a color wheel. So let's talk about the color wheel. The reason why I have this on here is because I'm going to show you what works best for your eye. So if you're a blue-eyed girl, if you have green eyes, if you have hazel eyes, if you have brown eyes, we're going to talk about what kind of works, okay? So looking at the color wheel, let's start with if you have blue eyes. So blue-eyed girls, listen up. So here you are on the color wheel. You see this little, I'm putting a little arrow on it where it says blue. Now, next to your blue eyes are blue-green, blue-violet, okay? So these are your complementary colors, okay? These are colors that if you wear them, it's fine. It's not going to look bad on you, but they're similar. So if you are a person, and I don't know if you've ever said this, like if you've gotten your makeup done or if you ever thought about this or saw it in a magazine where people say, I want my eyes to pop or I want my eyes to stand out. If you want the color of your eye and the actual shape and things of your eye to look more prominent and bright, instead of using complementary colors, you want to use the color on the opposite of the color wheel. So if we roll on over to blue, on the color wheel, it says orange, right? Like who wants to wear orange eyeshadow? But in the eye makeup world, orange and yellow orange are like gold and brown. So like the orange would be your brown. So if you have blue eyes, the opposite in the makeup world is going to be browns. And then the adjacent colors from that, the complementary colors would be like gold, using like brownish colors that tinge towards rust, like warmer browns. So if you have blue eyes and you wear browns and golds and warm tones of that nature, it's going to make your eye look brighter because it's the opposite of your eye color. It's going to make your eyes stand out. It's going to make the eyes pop. It's going to make the blue look sharper and brighter. So to flip that, if you're over here and you have brown eyes, you're a brown-eyed girl, I'm a brown-eyed girl, the opposite color of that is going to be blue. So do you have to wear a full blue eyeshadow look? Absolutely not. But you could do something like wear a neutral eye, like maybe wear a complementary eye, like a brown eye, and then use like a navy or something of that nature liner, which, maybe to the eye or to other people might look like a black liner, but it will make your eyes look brighter by using a navy. So that is like an option you could do as a brown-eyed girl. So you're going to do the opposite, okay? Let's say you have green eyes. So we're over here in the green. So remember the complementary, you're going to that kind of the blue, you're going to the more warm greens where it says like yellow green, right? That's complementary. But if you are going opposite, you're going over into this red, violet family. And in the makeup world, that's going to be like plums, slightly like warmish kind of purpley colors. Things like that are going to make a green eye look brighter. And if you happen to have kind of a violety kind of eye, then the flip of that would be to wear little pops of green. Again, you don't have to wear green eyeshadow head to toe, but you could do like a green liner or just like a really pale green shadow on your lid or something like that, that would make your violet eye pop. If you have hazel eyes, you are a combination of a green and a brown, right? So in that case, I would decide what color you want to bring out. If you want to bring out more brown in your eyes, then I would go with the pop of blue because you're doing the opposite, right? If you wanted it to be more green, I would go with more of like the violet plum area that will make your eye look more green. Do we have any questions about eye color? And type in the chat and in the comments what your eye color is, and also what colors you're going to try now. And you guys let me know if there's any questions or comments on Facebook. So just type in the chat, like if you have, a brown eye, what colors are you going to try, and vice versa. Gotcha. Okay. So this is your first step. The first step is, what freaking colors should I wear, right? And then we're going to go into the eye shapes. Now, there are 5 eye shapes that 5 classic eye shapes that we're going to go into today. And then there's also a little variant at the end to take in consideration if you wear eyeliner. If you don't wear eyeliner, it won't apply. So we'll talk about that at the end. So what I have done here, and feel free to like screenshot, things like that. Also, I love when you guys take pictures and do your makeup and stuff like that and tag me. You can tag me at Modern Green Goddess on Instagram. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as well. But there's 5 types, and each type I've put a celebrity with the type. And the reason why I did that is so if you are like, hot dog, I have a deep set eye, which is the first one we're going to talk about, you can follow Halle Berry. Look at what her makeup artist does. Look at the way that her makeup is done and things like that for inspiration when you want to try a new look, because she has a similar eye shape to you. And this is very important. This is the how you put it on, where what we just talked about is the colors you would use. So let's get into it, okay? First, if you want to look at Halle Berry, notice the color she's wearing. She is kind of wearing almost like a deep navy liner, and she has brown eyes with the neutral eyeshadows. So I thought that was really cool that that was in this look as well. So Halle Berry, if you guys don't know, is an actress. She's in all the John Wick movies. She was voted multiple times during her career the most beautiful woman in the world. So, good for her. And she has a deep set eye. Okay. So deep set eyes, I would say one of the adjectives people use to describe somebody that has a deep set eye is like a sultry eyed girl. Usually their eyes are situated very deep in the eye socket, hence the term deep set. So like the eye is pushed further back into the eye socket. Usually this person, because their eyes push further back, they have a very prominent brow bone. Your brow bone, like from your eye, will stick out. So you can, if I turn my head to the side, you can see clearly this is not me because mine is very blended. But usually a deep set eye, the brow bone is very, very prominent, kind of pokes out a little bit. This type of eye looks better with softer eyeliner or like a smudge liner close to the lash line. If you do a really harsh liner on a deep set eye, it makes the eye look very squinty and tiny because it's receding further back than it already is, okay? If if the crease of the eyeshadow is taken up too far on a deep set eye, it will kind of make the eye look like it's almost like crinkling a little bit, and it can age you, make you look older. So for this type of eye makeup look, you want to have like a very soft kind of smudgy eyeliner. You can do products in the crease, but not too high up. You want to do it in the lower part of your crease. So we're taking notes. We're moving on to the next one. So I encourage you to look in the mirror, look at yourself as we go through each one and be like, okay, that seems like me. Okay. So the second type is the protruding eye. This is Nicole Richie. Another person who has a protruding eye is Britney Spears. She's like a perfect example of this. I would say adjectives to describe a protruding eye are like the doe-eyed girl, the bright-eyed girl. They usually have very large eyes, and they usually have a lot of lid space. Like when they blink, you can see their full lid. This type of eye looks really good with a smoky eye because the smoky eye flattens that super domes area in the front and makes the eye look more lifted. They did a really good job on Nicole Richie's makeup here. So good that you can't hardly see that it's a protruding eye, but that's what they did. They smoked out the corners, the liner. They're taking the liner all the way in and around the eye to like make it look more almost almond shaped instead of like a big round bulging eye, which she has without makeup. Still beautiful eyes either way, but I'm just explaining the makeup, the way that it's done. So this eye is going to look better with like a smokier liner, etc. So the next one, the third eye, is a monolid. So a lot of people of Asian descent have monolids, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not always the case. Okay, this is Lucy Liu, former Charlie's Angel, if you don't know who she is. And she has a monolid, meaning that there's no defined crease. Her lid goes kind of flat and straight all the way across. And she doesn't have like a fold necessary to where her crease would be. This type of eye looks really, really good with like a smokier eye or more of like a cat eye to kind of define the area that is prominent on their eye. This is the third look. The next look is, the next one is a hooded eye, okay? The person we have here to look up is Blake Lively. She is, I mean, I don't know if no one knows who Blake Lively is, but she's a famous actress, made famous by the hugely popular show Gossip Girl, not the new one, the original. And she's been in many, many movies, super gorgeous, married to Ryan Reynolds, who is smoking hot. So she has a hooded eye. And what a hooded eye means, it literally means you almost have like, think of like a hoodie. You have like a little hoodie on your eyelid. So your little hoodie part of your little hood from your hoodie kind of rests on top of your eyelid. I have a hooded eye. And because of a hooded eye, your eyes can appear smaller because of that little piece of skin covering your crease like a little hood. So that's hence the name. This type of eye, and you can see it in this eye makeup look here, benefits greatly from using a crease color. Crease colors are very important for a hooded eye. And also taking the color beyond the crease, so higher, so starting in the crease and going up higher. Versus, remember the first one, you don't want to do that. You can use a matte color in the crease, something that's not going to draw attention to the hood. So you don't want to use like a super sparkly color if you can avoid it, or something that kind of fades into the crease would be good if you were doing like a smoky eye or something like that. This eye in particular benefits from a bright lid. The brighter the lid, the better, because it will open the lid and kind of take away from the hooded area, making your eye appear a lot larger around like the iris and things. Out of all of the eye shapes here, this eye benefits the most from false lashes, from the biggest mascara, the mascara that, the big bold mascara. This eye shape benefits the most from that because it opens this way so that your eyes don't look squinty. And then that brighter or lighter color on the lid really like kind of reshapes the eye. And the last one is an almond eye. If you don't know who this is Beyonce. Of course, Beyonce would have a almond eye because almond eyes are perfectly symmetrical, meaning that from each, and we'll talk about the different planes of the eye, but the eye is basically equidistant all the way around, okay? Most of the makeup techniques that we have been talking about are to achieve kind of like an almond eye shape, meaning that the eye looks even and symmetrical from all areas, okay? Any type of eye makeup looks good on an almond eye shape. So if this is you, have a good time. Wear whatever kind of eye shape, like any type of makeup you want. Go smoky, go bright, do a deep set look. You can do whatever you want because since your eye's symmetrical, it will show and it will hold. So these are our 5 eye shapes. I'm going to go back through them just so you can look at them. And then I want you to type in the chat and in the comments on Facebook what eye shape you have. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. So we'll start almond, which is symmetrical. Hooded eye, you have the little baby, hood on top of the lid. Monolid, which is like the flat, doesn't have much of a crease. Protruding eye, you have like those big, bright, kind of round eyes, lots of lid space. Deep set eyes, your eyes are situated back in your eye sockets. You'll also notice when you turn to the side that your eyebrow probably sticks out further than the rest of your face. So what do we have on Facebook and in our chat?
In the chat, we think we've got a hooded. Someone thinks they're protruding eye. I'm having trouble deciding too. I think I'm more hooded than deep set, but I'm kind of deciding between the two. Okay. On Facebook, let me pull this up. Either almond or hooded, and then a hooded eye gal.
Okay.
So yeah, we're kind of or deep set. Yeah.
So here's one thing to take into consideration, because some people can be deep set, but then they also have a little hood, and the hood could be from like life. You know what I mean? Like once you grow older, sometimes things move. So think about when, you were like 20, or if you're already 20 on here, congratulations. But when you were like 20, did you have the hood, or is it just something that came with age? And the reason why I say that is because then you want to decide what your concern is. So for instance, if you have, you can see that you have that prominent brow, the brow bone sticking out, then your actual eye shape is deep set, right? You might have a little hood, or you've gotten a hood over the years, and you could do your makeup to benefit a hooded eye, but maybe do deep set liner where it's more smudgy, instead of like a sharp line. But your actual eye shape is the deep set. So if you are struggling because maybe you've developed a hood, that means you probably had a different eye shape, and you just gravity has taken over a little, and that's totally fine. But if you've always had the little thing, then you're a hood, you're a hooded eye. Like I've always had a little baby hood. So yeah, you can earn your hood. I love that. Thank you, Lauren, for saying that. You can earn your hood, or you can have a little, you can have it from birth. Someone is, hi Tanya, saying that she thinks she's almond. If you think you're almond, you're probably almond. Like the other things you'll definitely notice. Like if you have a lot of lid space, like it's very obvious, like you'll be like, okay, I have a lot of lid space. This is probably me. I'm probably protruding. If you're like, oh, I can kind of do all of the above, like I'm kind of, you probably have an almond eye. So if you think that you have one, you probably do. Any questions?
Someone on Facebook, this is good, says she thinks hers is hooded, but it's not as hooded as Blake's. A little bit of skin, maybe like almost like two lids.
Yeah, that could still be a hooded eye. Like Blake Lively, I picked her as the person because she's a very prominent hood, just so you could see it. But if you just have a little one, that's fine too. That's still, you're still a hooded eye. It's just not as strong as Blake's. Great, that was a great question. So everybody now knows what colors work best for them, right? Which eye shape and what eye makeup type things you're supposed to be doing. So if you are a deep set person, you need to use a soft smudgy liner. Make sure you don't take your crease up too high if you do a crease color, right? If you have a protruding eye, you want to go for more of like a smoky eye, or you can do a little more liner to kind of balance out having a larger lid, and giving that more almondy shape if that's what you want to do. For a monolid, go smoky or go cat eye. For a hooded eye, you want to go bright on the lid, and lots of lash. You also want to take that crease color up past your actual crease or hood. And almonds, go off, do whatever you want, have a good time. So I know that was a lot of information, but I don't think that it makes sense to do an eye class if you don't know your basics. So now, no matter what eye makeup you are, working on or playing with, you now have you're now armed. You know what colors work for you, kind of where to put the colors. And what we're going to do today, because I think that this is the really hard thing to do, so let's do it with me so that if you have any questions, we can go through it, is, okay, that's great, Kai, but what about like trends and things like that? You want to do the trends, you want to know the latest and the greatest. How do you apply that to your eye shape? And that's what we're going to play with today. Before we get into our eye demo, I do want to talk about one thing that might come up. If you don't wear eyeliner, like if you just are a person who does shadow and mascara and calls it a day, this might not really apply to you as much. But if you wear eyeliner, this is something I find to be very important. And even kind of how you, especially if you're doing a smoky eye, like where you put the eyeshadow placement, is considering if you have a closed set eye or a wide set eye. Okay. So again, I left you some celebrity examples so that you can, look up their makeup, see what the artists are doing for them. So on the left, we have Jennifer Aniston. She has closed set eyes. And what that means is that her eyes are very close to her nose. Okay. And if you have a closed set eye, you want to keep most of the makeup on the outer edges of the eye. See how she has like lashes, lots of mascara on the outside, but not as much on the inside. Her liner is thicker on the outside, and that's to make her eyes not look more centered to her face and not so close to her nose. On the flip, we have Amanda Seyfried here, who, by the way, is one of her main makeup artists, is a clean makeup artist, which is amazing. Katie Deno, make sure you guys are following her on Instagram. She's amazing. She has wide set eyes, which means her eyes are further away from her nose. You can see in the comparison photos. If you have eyes that are further away from your nose, you want to bring more depth in the inner part of your eye. So you want to bring like your liner all the way in, or your shadow all the way in, again, to make it appear that your eyes are more symmetrical to your nose. Some people's eyes are just set right in the middle. Usually if you have an almond shaped eye, you probably don't have a wide or a closed set. The eye is probably kind of right in the middle. Any questions?
I think we're good right now.
Okay. So we're going to get into our look. So make sure you have all the stuff that we talked about. I'm going to just give you one more little thing to think about, and we're going straight into makeup. Okay. So again, this is something that really applies more to like liner, a little bit to shadow, but that's a downturn versus an upturned eye. A downturned eye is like the famous Marilyn Monroe. Her eye just curves down. That's what it means. Now, you could change the shape to more of an almondy, like to give the appearance of an almondy shape by taking your liner or your shadow upward, which will lift the eye. Marilyn Monroe actually embraced her downturned eye, and she has her liner, everything turned down to give her more of a soft, sultry look. So you don't have to change your eye shape. I'm just showing you different ways to enhance, to open, but you could also just play up what you already have like she did, which is great. I mean, she's iconic for a reason, right? And then if you have an upturned eye, it just means that your eyes curve up instead of down. If you have an upturned eye, this is the one, the only Sophia Loren. Look her up if you don't know who she is. She's a classic film star. She has a perfect almond eye, and her eyes are also completely upturned. So it just means that your eyes kind of have like a lifted appearance already. So you can just follow your natural eye shape with eyeliners and things when you have an upturned eye, or if you want to accentuate it, you could do something like a cat eye, which she loved to do. Makes your eyes look really open. Okay, so this is the look we're gonna kind of play with today, because I wanted to show you guys an on-trend look, and then like how would we change that to fit different eye shapes. Okay, so we're gonna go for a subtle smoke today, using silvers and taupes to create a soft effect, with a sliver of brightness at the lash line. You can do the bottom or the top. We're gonna probably play around with the top. How do we feel about the look? Let's see what you guys think about trying this look.
Okay, lots of excitement. People are fascinated by learning the eye shapes, though, that it's really, really like helpful information. Never thought about it before.
Awesome. So let's get
Okay,
into
here's a quick question. Can any age of woman wear this look?
Yes. So here are the things that are the most important. I get this question a lot because I do a lot of private makeup lessons, and pretty much everyone over 40 always asks me, can I wear this for, my eye? And this is what I always tell people. First, always go for your eye shape. That's more important than how old you are. You want to do your makeup according to your eye shape, and make sure.
Oh. You there? Can you hear me, Kai? Oh,
Can you hear me?
now we can.
Oh, you couldn't hear
It just
me?
froze for a second. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. But now you're back.
Okay.
You said
Okay,
when I last heard you, you said your eye shape is more important than how old you are. So you always want to go for your eye shape.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can you guys still hear me now? I'm just gonna double check.
It froze for a second, yeah, but we're all good now. Okay.
So your eye shape is more important than the age. You want to go for what works for your eye shape, and the colors. Of course, that's important, like what colors you use, but also you want to go for what works for you, just like you want to do on your face. So for instance, when people ask me about highlighter, they're like, where should I put highlighter? I show them the traditional areas, but I also say, if you have like really deep crow's feet and they bother you, like if they don't bother you, then it doesn't matter. Don't put highlighter across this area, right? It's because it's gonna brighten and accentuate that. So let's say maybe you feel like you have a more mature eye. but you have a really smooth eyelid, then you can totally wear a shimmery eyeshadow and it's going to look gorgeous on you because you have a smooth eyelid, you know. But if you have like an area that's like maybe really crepey, like let's say you have like more of a crepey crease, or you know, like me, I have a hooded eye. I don't go out of my way to do like super shimmery things in my crease, or I'll try to blend them down, which I'll show you guys how to do today, because it's not the most flattering for that part of my eye. Where for some people, they have a super smooth area there. They can do, you know, sparkly creases and things, all kind of stuff in their crease. I wouldn't do that because I that's not my favorite part of my eye. I'd rather accentuate my lid or, you know, my brow or something like that. So I always say that there is I gotta remember her name. If I remember, I'll send it to Lauren. But there is a woman on Instagram and she's a 75-year-old model. And she's absolutely breathtaking. And she wears full makeup, like way more makeup even than I wear, and I'm a makeup artist. Like, you know, smoky eyes and sparkly eyes like that. And it doesn't have anything to do with her age, it has to do with her eye shape. She has a protruding eye, she has tons of lid space and it's smooth and amazing. And so she can do all the eye looks. So I think it's more based on that. And when I work on my on-air talent and celebrity clients, I always do it based on their eye shape.
That's so helpful. Love it.
All right, so let's get into the eye. So let's make sure you have all of your things nearby. You're going to need your priming serum, your cream shadows, an eyeliner, possibly mascara. And I'm also going to show you guys kind of how to play with a little cream cheek. And I'm going to stop share so we can get into it. Can everybody see my face and can hear me okay?
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to get into, I have like 2 huge rings now, fun for my glasses. Those dents don't go away as fast as they used to, let me tell you. So we're going to get into the eye makeup. We're going to do the subtle smoke. And I'm going to show you tips and tricks depending on your eye, right? So because we're doing a subtle smoky eye, if you have a deep set eye, you can just do it direction for direction because that's your eye, right? Like the subtle smoke is great for a deep set eye. It's great for a monolid. It's great for a protruding eye. So if you have any of those eyes, you can just go full on smoking. Don't have to do the modifications. But if you have a hooded eye, you might want to try something different. If you have an almond eye, you can play around and see what you like and what's most comfortable for you. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to prime the eye. So I'm actually going to use the Beauty Counter Glow First Priming Serum as an eye primer. One of my makeup friends told me about this and it was like a game changer for me. It really helps things to kind of grip to the eye. And some people have also said it keeps their mascara from smudging, which is awesome. So I'm just going to take a tiny, tiny bit. I mean, the tiniest little bit. And I'm going to get that all over my lid and all the way up to my brow. Okay. So that's how we're starting. Not a big goop, just the tiniest amount. Because if you put too much, you might have the opposite effect. You don't want things sliding around. You want a nice little grip. And if you've never done this before, just see how amazing your eye makeup turns out. It's really grips. Now, if you have a hooded eye, if you feel like your eyes are a little on the smaller side, you can do this next step. Everyone else, you can skip this step. So because I have a hooded eye, I want to take a brush. You can use kind of like a medium-ish tapered shadow brush, or you can use a smaller one if you want like a tighter grip. Since my eye is smaller and hooded, I like to start off with a smaller brush and then always work my way up to a bigger one. I am going to actually use my Beauty Counter Truffle, which is a cream cheek and lip. in the crease of my eye to kind of help with the shaping. Because remember how I said the cream eyeshadows all have shimmer to them. So I want something a little more matte to kind of balance out my eye a little bit. So I'm going to use the color Truffle, and I'm just going to use this more tapered brush. This is, and I can send this to Lauren if you guys want, let me know. This is the BK Beauty. It's a vegan brush company, the Angie Hot and Flashy collab, and it's the A502. So she made brushes specifically for older eyes, are actually like softer and cut different. And they also have, yeah, and they're also smaller because she has a hooded eye as well. So sometimes having a smaller brush really helps you to get into the hood. So if you have a hooded eye, even if you have a deep set eye and you just want to do a little baby crease, I feel like you don't really have to do this for the other eye shapes. We're going to take this, and I like to kind of raise my brow and then find the crease, like right in the crease where my eye dips, and then like release it. So my hood, it literally drops right in the middle of my hood. And then I can start to blend from there.
Can you remind us, did you pick this shade because that was like the bright shade for your, like the neutral, the good neutral for your skin tone?
It's a neutral, yes. Yeah. So if you have a fairer skin tone, you probably might, I mean, you could use this too, but you might like chai.
Okay.
To do this. For me personally, chai would be too light for me because I'm so remember when we went over the skin tones, fair, light, medium, tan, dark, deep, I'm a tan. So this is a perfect neutral for me. So I'm going in with my in the crease, right? And then I'm going above the crease. Remember I said it was a good idea to go over the crease, which kind of hides, when we started doing the eye makeup, it kind of makes the hood recede a little bit. Okay. Once you have that product in where you want, I'm going to do a little bit more, even though it's probably good, just so you guys can see it on, let me use my lighted mirror. Sorry. Is that better? Yeah. Just so you guys can see a little bit more. So I went right in my crease, and notice I'm doing it with my eye open. I want to see exactly where I'm going.
Could you do this with your finger, or you wouldn't recommend that?
You could do this with your finger as well. You're going to get a little more precision with a brush, but you can do it with your finger. So when you're done putting this on, you want to kind of push the product in, because it is a cream. You want to set it. So like pushing it in and making sure it gets into the primer really well, like they kind of mesh together. You do the same thing. I lift that brow really high, then drop it back down to normal, so it goes right in the crease. I like to do it with the eye open too, because if you close your eye, you're just guessing at that point. If you do it too high, then you're going to look surprised all day, right? And if it's too low, you're going to look like you never sleep. So you want to get it right in the crease and then just go up a little bit higher than crease if you have a hooded eye. If you have a deep set eye, you can do it right in the crease and leave it there. And the other eye shapes, to be honest, you don't even need to do this step to achieve the smoky eye. Just for me, I just feel like it gives me a little depth and a little bit of matte in that hooded area before I start working in my smoky eye.
And this is so cool. I mean, I feel like this even looks good by itself.
It does. So if you have a hooded eye, to me, the most important part is the crease. If you if you get the right color in the crease and it's in the right place, it automatically opens up your eye. Your lids will look larger, and everything will kind of fall into place. Another thing that you want to take into consideration, especially if you have like a hooded eye or a deep set eye, if you have a protruding eye or an almond eye, this is probably not going to apply to you. And if you have a monolid, this definitely doesn't apply to you. You want to look at how much space you have on your eye. So like if you go from your lashes to your actual crease, so I have this much space, that's where my actual crease is, right? And then from my crease to my eyebrow, look at all the space I have, right? So I have all the space here and a little bit space here. If you have a deep set eye or if you have a hooded eye, this is going to be you, right? What you don't want to do is add tons and tons of attention under your brow. If you love to highlight, I'm going to show you how to do that. But you don't want to use like a really bright color under your brow because all that's going to do is accentuate this and then make this look really squinty. Okay. And you don't want to do that. If you have a protruding eye, if you have an almond eye, if you have a monolid, you can do a nice bright shimmery highlight under your brow if you want. Like, go off, have a good time. It's going to be fun for you guys. You're going to have a great time with it. So now we're going to get into the Smokey. Okay. So we're going to take the color Twinkle. So this is what, if you've never used these, this is what they look like, the cream shadows, and they have this really great little doe foot applicator. I actually was part of the team that helped pick the colors and formula for this. So I actually have some lab samples. So that's why I have this one ugly one and this one pretty one. But this is the color Twinkle. Now, going with your skin tones. If you have a deeper skin tone like me, this is going to be like slightly smoky. It's not going to give you like a ton of depth. But if you have a light or medium tone, this is going to be deeper on you. If you need to make this lighter, you can take whatever lighter color you're using. Today I'm using Gleam, but you can use Aura, you can use Luster, you can use Aura, any of the lighter colors. You can mix them together if you want, and then apply it on your eye if you want it to be a little bit lighter. If you want it to be a little bit darker, you can take a little eyeliner and just smudge it all over your lid. You can do it with your finger. You can do it with like a round flat brush, and it'll make the look a little bit darker. So I'm just going to go right in with my applicator, and I'm just going to apply the Twinkle all over my lid. Again, if you don't want to go as smoky as me to start, then you can mix the colors together. Okay, so I'm starting there. And from here, you can take a brush, or if you have a small finger, like my fingers are pretty small, you can kind of blend the color into like right to where you get to your crease. If you have a deep set eye, you really want to be very particular about this and like do like a hard stop where the two connect. If you have a hooded eye, you could take it up a little bit higher if you want, like a little into that crease. And then you can take a brush or your finger to kind of move it up. And then this part is really important for creams. You need to press them in once you get the color where you want so that it will lock and set. Okay, so we're starting here. Again, because I have a tan skin tone, it's gonna look smoky, but it's gonna be like a soft smoky. If you are like, oh, it's really, really dark, we're gonna do some more stuff. So don't freak out about it, but you can always mix it with your lighter color. We're gonna do the same thing over here. I'm almost done with this one. I went through a whole Twinkle. Must have really liked this color. So I can buy the regular size now. I don't like to waste stuff, so all over the lid. We're going in with the Twinkle, and then I'm just taking that doe foot applicator a little higher up into my crease. So this is another way to do it besides using a brush. Just so you know, your doe foot has like a kind of like a skinny way and a long way. So if you turn it long ways, if you have a hooded eye, you can go up further in your crease. If you have an almond eye, you can definitely take it higher up into the crease too. And if you have a protruding eye, you can go all the way up, girl. Like go off. Like the more smoke, the better. Okay. So now what you're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of this color. And again, remember there's like a long, like if you're looking at it this way, there's like let me use the other one because I think it's easier to see. So if you're using this little applicator, right? And if I'm pointing at you, you could draw this way or you could draw this way. See how it's like a longer way? So we're gonna do the bottom lashes. So we wanna do this short way, not the long way. And we're gonna use our twinkle as like a little eyeliner, okay? Now, if you have deep set eyes, remember that you don't want like a super sharp eyeliner because that makes your eyes, look crepey and recede. So you want to maybe take this and then maybe take your finger and give it a good smudge. If you have a hooded eye, liner is great for you. So you could do more graphic, you could do more smudgy. It's going to look good either way. And I'm only doing like halfway because I do have smaller eyes. Okay, so I'm just taking a little underneath and smudging.
I have to say, I wear this color all the time, but I've never done that crease. It's amazing the difference that made. I'm
It's
like in shock.
awesome, right?
Yes, so awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
So now we've got like kind of a smoky look going. Now, here's where we get into some variants. If you have a hooded eye, like me, you're probably looking at this going, it's cute, but it's also a little, it's making me look slightly squinty, maybe a little bit squinty on my lids. Does anybody notice that has a hooded eye? That is because we have this prominence up here and this is small, because it's got some gleam and shimmer in it, it is standing out a little bit, but it's not standing out as much as like when we first did the crease, right? So here's what you can do to be able to still have a smoky eye, but also, and be on trend, but also cater to your eye shape. If you have you could do this with a deep set eye. This is great for you. If you have a hooded eye, you could do this. If you have a protruding eye, I'm going to show you a different area that you can kind of play with and keep your lid on the darker side. If you have a monolid, you're going to stick with the protruding eye, what I'm going to tell you for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your lighter eyeshadow. So I'm using the shade Gleam, but you can use any of the lighter eyeshadows. And you're going to go on that short side again, not the long. And you're going to draw a little line. I'm just going to take off some excess so I don't get too much product. I'm just scraping off the excess. You're going to draw a teeny tiny little line in your lash line. And then you can blend it out with any type of brush, or if your finger is pretty small, you can blend it out with your finger. You're just almost like drawing a little line there, okay? And then you can take any type of eyeshadow brush. I like to use like the little round ones, like a basic shadow brush. And I'm just gonna brush lightly across that line so that it sort of blends into the eyeshadow, but it leaves kind of like a bright gleam to help reopen my hooded eye. So see how it's starting to get bigger again and it's starting to go back up compared to this eye where it's like a little womp womp. That is a way to be able to still be on trend, still wear the soft smoky eye, but play to your eye shape. If you have a monolid, if you have a protruding eye, if you have an almond eye and you're just playing around, you could do either one of these. You want to take your lighter color more in the inner corner. Okay? And then you're just going to blend that out. So for you, what this does is it adds a little flash when like when you blink and stuff like that, it adds a little pop of light. This is also something you could put under your brow if you have a protruding eye, a monolid, an almond eye. So do you see the difference? So this is going to make the lid kind of jump up more. This one is like more of a softer transition. And if you have really close set eyes, this is a really great way to make your eyes look further apart too, by doing that kind of inner corner. Okay. Now, if you have a monolid, if you have a monolid, if you have a protruding eye or an almond, you could also take your light colored eyeshadow and take a little underneath the brow. Remember what I said for if you have a hooded eye, this is a no for us, okay? It's gonna make everything look squinty again. But what you could do, like let's say you're like, I just want a little something under there, is you could take a highlighted balm. So have you guys played with these yet? The highlighting balms from Beauty Counter? Because this is a balm, it's a little more sheer. It's just going to give you more of a glow, and it's not going to add too much attention under the brow. So you can just take a little tiny bit, and it just gives you like a little light, right? Versus if you took one of these, it's going to give you a ton of light. And if you have a hooded eye, or especially if you have a deep set eye where your brow is like already super prominent, you don't want to like emphasize that because it's already emphasized. You don't need to like, you know, beat a dead horse, right? So now you have your kind of your eyes going. If you feel like you really need shape, you can always take an eyeliner or use one of the darker shades, like whatever's darker for you, in the cream shadows, and just do a little line in your lashes. So because I have a deeper skin tone, most of the eyeshadows are more like lid and crease colors for me, not necessarily a liner. So I'm just going to use a black liner to show you what I'm talking about. And I'm just smudging a little liner. And I'm just going to take a smudgy brush. You can use your finger too. Any type of little smudgy brush. This is like an old smudge brush from Beauty Counter. You don't have to make the liner perfect because you're going to go over it with a brush. And the brush just kind of blends it out. So eyeliner is great for a hooded eye. If you have a deep set eye or a protruding eye, you might really like kind of more of a smudgy liner. For hooded eyes, you can do a smudgy liner, or you can do something more sharp and precise because it gives nice shape to the eye. So you guys see the difference by just doing a little liner. Another fun trick is if you want to make one of the other colors darker, so let's say you wanted to make twinkle darker, you could take your black eyeliner and then you could just take this right on top and smudge them together with your finger, and that's going to give you another little pop too. And then from here, all you got to do is throw on your mascara, and you have the latest spring trend look, which is the sultry smoke.
Okay, a couple questions while you're talking. Someone missed the hooded eye is a no with shadow under the brow, right? But you might put a highlighter, like a cream highlighter.
So what I want to say is you want to do something like a highlighting balm. So Beauty Counter makes a highlighting balm. And the reason why I'm saying that is because like a powder highlight, still too much. Like a shimmery cream, still too much. You need a balm is like very like, so I don't have anything here and I have some here. Do you see it's like the slightest difference? So it does wake up the eye a little bit, but it's not super shimmery. Where if I did this, so I'm going to show you guys the difference. If you have a protruding eye, by the way, this is going to look fire on you, so do this. But do you see how like it's bright now? All I see is brow, 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 and all the work I did doesn't matter. Where this eye, it looks more balanced. Do you guys see
very
what I'm
clear.
talking about? Yeah. So if you do something, it needs to be like very slight, which is why I love the highlighting balms for stuff like this, because it's like very subtle. It's just adding a slight glow, which makes the eye look a little more lifted instead of actual shimmer, which is what this one's doing.
I love that point you made about the highlighting balm, because I feel like on so many people, I dramatically notice a powder highlighter, and oftentimes it's in creases and things, you know, like especially
Yeah.
like on the edge of your eye, where the little I've played with these balms, I feel like it does not do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed. It's very, very agreeable. And also gorgeous on the face. I'm wearing it on my face right now, actually, too. So now we've got our looks. All you have to do now is finish off with mascara, and you are good to go. So this is, wanted to show you guys a spring trend, because I just feel like this happens a lot, where you have spring trends and then you're like, how do I do that so it looks good on my eye, you know? So I wanted to show you guys a trending look and still apply it to what we did. So we're gonna do mascara and Q&A now before we hop off. But first, I want to thank every single one of you guys for coming. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you played. I hope you have a fabulous, sultry, light, smoky eye right now. Please ask the person who invited you how you can get these items for up to 20% off right now, friends and family. And also ask them about Banded Beauty, because then you can get free gifts, free shipping, and up to 20% off, which is
25 off for
amazing.
Banded Beauty. That's crazy. Yeah.
So definitely ask the person who invited you how to get that. And again, I'm just gonna go really quickly go over the products we used and a little bit about where you can find me. You can, if you want to check out my work, you can go to moderngreengoddess.com. My email is kai@moderngreengoddess.com if you want to send me an email if you have any questions. My social media, I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube, is Modern Green Goddess. And please consider taking a private or a group class like this with me. I would love to do some things with you guys. Okay. So this is what we use. We use the Beauty Counter Glow First Priming Serum. We used 2 cream shadows today. We use the Gleam. Well, I use Gleam, but you can use Gleam, Aura, Luster. It doesn't matter. A light colored shadow. And then we use Twinkle. So those are the 2. You're going to finish with your mascara. If you guys have not used mascara, it is so freaking good. Especially if you have a hooded eye and you need big lashes, this is what you want. This is what you want. Okay. It's going to give you that big voluminous lash that you want. You're going to need a neutral if you have a hooded eye. So I use the color Truffle, but you could also use Chai in our cheek and lip colors. The Cheeky Cleans are called. The highlighter that I used today was the rose gold one. I haven't labeled this one yet, so I gotta look at the box. Cosmo, in case you were wondering which one I used. My Ride or Die one is the kind of golden bronze one, because you can kind of use it as bronzer and highlighter, and I keep it in my car right now to make me look better. But I do love this one too. Just soft glow. And is that it? I think that's it, right? So those are the things. And I use a black eyeliner, just any clean black eyeliner is fine if you want to add that. And another fun thing that you can do is take some of the deeper colors, like that pretty mossy green that we have, like the more burgundy colors, like the browns, and use that as liner too, if those colors work for you.
Now that brings up somebody said something that kind of along those lines too. So Kara's says, I have hazel eyes and fair skin. I've used Prism as my liner and it really makes my eye color pop.
Yes.
Makes sense. From what you shared, could you really that you use Twinkle, which I think is what a traditional smoky color. Could you use this technique with really any shade to kind of create, especially maybe you looking at your color wheel, you might if goldens are your color, you do the sepia or the flash, with this same application?
Yes. So I just showed you guys Twinkle because it's just a, middle of the road color that you could use for smoky eye. But I want you to apply this to the eyeshadow color. So look at those colors and be like, oh, I kind of have a blue violet eye. Maybe I should, try something like that pretty mossy green. What's the mossy green one called? Let me grab it.
Prism.
Yeah, Prism. Yeah, maybe I should try Prism, here it is. So maybe I should try Prism, and that's going to give you that beautiful brightness. You could use it as liner as well. Things like that. Twinkle, because it's a gray, is going to be great, it tints blue on some people, it's going to be great for brown eyes. So yeah, definitely play around with the different colors to apply the eye technique. And then you can also pare it down, right? If you have a hooded eye, you could just take your truffle or your chai and then do one bright color across your lid and a bunch of mascara, and you're like dynamite, right? Because you're hitting all the things. You're correcting the hood, you're brightening the lid, and you're adding the lash. You know, same thing with a deep set eye. You could take like a medium tone shadow all over and do lots of mascara, maybe a smudgy liner, you're golden. If you have a protruding eye, go for buy all the smoky colors. Like this is your moment. Get Ember, get Twilight, get Prism, like get all of those more smoky colors all over the lid, into the crease. Do that, because on you, you could wear that in the daytime, where for me, I could only wear that at night because of my eye shape. You could wear all these pretty deeper shades in the daytime. If you have a monolid, same thing, go for like those more smoky, rich colors and tons of mascara. You know, do that big fat lash. If you have an almond eye, you can kind of play around. But yeah, so like my basic, like if I'm like, I need to do a little eye makeup today, but I'm not going to go through, you know, like I'm showing you guys a trend today, so we did a little bit more. I'm just going to take truffle in my crease, and then I'm going to take gleam and slide it across my lid and put on some mascara and call it a day. Like it's still going to correct my eye. So think about the things that work best for your eye shape, and then build your little cream collection based on that. The cool thing, even though like kind of like the bluish navy colors work the best on brown eyes technically are a prism of all the colors. So if you know, are playing around with lots of grays, blues, things like that, and then you get bored and you want to try something else, you could wear a purple, you could wear a green. It still works on a brown eye. It's just that the blue is the most flattering. But because the brown eye has all the colors kind of mixed together, we can kind of play around. So if you are an adventurous brown-eyed girl, that's another way for you to play too.
Will you flip back to that color wheel slide? I feel like people maybe want to take a little picture of that real quick.
Yeah.
Can you do that easily?
Absolutely.
Okay.
While I'm doing that, does anybody have any questions? Here we go, color wheel.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I apologize if I missed part of it, but so eyeliner rules for, I think I have deep set close size. I don't know, but I typically don't put liner on the bottom. I don't even know why. What are kind of like the eyeliner rules?
That's a great question. So for a deep set eye, the main rule is that the liner needs to be soft, meaning like you don't want to do like a graphic cat eye. You know, that's gonna really push your eyes really far into your head. So you can do liner, especially at the top. It's gonna be really pretty for you, which is what I think you're doing already, but just smudge it a little bit, make it a little more smoky, or even play with like using like a cream shadow or a powder shadow as a liner, something more soft. Underneath, you can definitely do kind of what we did today, which is like the outer half or an outer third. I probably wouldn't go all the way in and around, because again, that's pushing the eye back in.
Okay, so stick to more of a pencil as opposed to like a liquid to get that soft.
I would stick to a pencil or a cream shadow, because these, since they have a mica and stuff, they're not going to be as harsh as a liner. Like a liquid liner might be a little too graphic. You know, when I say graphic, I mean like, you know, like the actual shape, like the texture, not like the look. But yeah, it's yeah. So I would, instead of doing a liquid, I would probably do a pencil or a cream shadow, or like a powder, just a shadow, like a softer thing. Where if I was working with someone who had like a monolid, I would probably do a liquid liner, like nice, sharp, super angular. I love liquid liner. I do it a lot too, but I strategically do it to keep my eyelids really, really bright and kind of keep it more on the outside. So again, it doesn't emphasize my eyes going in.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. So there's the color wheel, you guys, and I'm just gonna click through. If you guys need to take any pictures of these, And let's see if we have any more questions before we hop off.
Yes. Well, just somebody shared some love. I've always steered away from smoky eyes because I thought it made me look like a raccoon. These tips are so helpful. That's good love. So true.
Yeah, you can wear, and the thing is, you know, I'm giving you like these basics, but you can wear any look as long as you kind of apply it to, you know, your rules. So I have a hooded eye, but I wear smoky eyes, I wear cat eyes, I wear all the stuff. I just take into account the basic rules. Correct the crease, brighten the lid. But I'll still do but I'm still wearing a smoky eye. Or I'll do, like I said, I love liquid liner. I wear it all the time, but I keep it more on the outside. So as long as you have your rules, you can kind of break the rules, if you will, meaning like you can try all these different eye techniques and eye colors and things like that fall within, you know, your range. So that was very freeing to me once I learned this stuff, because then I was like, okay, well, I can kind of play around if I want. Or if you're like, I like to stick to my basics, I just want to look good every day, you know what they are, and you can go to them really quickly. So I know I can do an eye in like 2 minutes because I know, you know, crease, bright lid, done, you know, so things like that. If you have a deep set eye, you can be like smudgy liner, something on the lid. I'm done, you know, like, and you know that that's going to work for you if you don't want to do a full look.
Awesome. All right. I don't see any other questions right now, unless somebody else has one real quick before we go. Going once, going twice. All right. That was awesome. So much love, so much thanks. So good. Replays coming soon. I know I had a lot of messages. Oh my God, I missed that, or I got on late, or whatever. We will have the recording ASAP, but it's also, the live will be in the Raise Up Beauty group too right now. Thank you, Kai.
Thank you guys for having me. It was so much fun. Oh, I gotta take a picture of my eye now, huh? I'm like,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Some makeup on. We put on some mascara and take a picture. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was so much fun. I hope you learned, and it's friends and family right now, so make sure you pick up all your colors.
Yes.
This is the time to do it where you can get a discount.
Yep. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.